Teenager who finds wallet with $1,500 cash lying on the road decides to do something unbelievable with it. The world is full of surprises. You never know what surprise you may get. Among all the surprises that surprise you the most is the nature of the people that change with time. You can never predict what is going on inside a human mind. All you could do is trust your gut feeling and remind yourself what is right and what is not. Here's the story of Mr. Vang, who lost his wallet somewhere. What happened next was unpredictable. As the story unfolds, you could relate to the story and see if you landed up in the same situation. Like any other married couple, Mr. and Mrs. Vang together form a perfect pair. Being perfect includes daily arguments and basic fights. Not only that, the only thing that binds them together was love. No matter how agitated they may be, they would end up saying sorry and a promise of not having any sort of argument again ever. Life was not that easy for the couple. They had to go through many difficulties before they could share the same surname. Mr. Vang was a hard-working man, and Melissa, popularly known as Mrs. Vang, held his hand back when he had nothing. Their life journey experienced many ups and downs, but what remained constant was their unbreakable bond. One day, Mr. Vang was getting late for his presentation. He thought it wise to skip breakfast and fetch the car keys. He kissed his wife goodbye and rushed towards the porch where he parked his car. He opened the door, started the engine, and drove to his office. Mr. Vang had a lot of experience and knew how to crack a deal. The presentation turned out to be fruitful for Mr. Vang as he was able to convince the other party to collaborate with their program, which would ultimately bring on lots of profit to their company. Grabbing the deal was not a piece of cake though. Mr. Vang put his maximum efforts in to bring the best out of this deal. He really did a good job. Since he'd skipped breakfast, he was starving. He thought of treating himself to a pizza. He ordered a double cheese pizza and made up his mind that he wouldn't share it with anyone. After deciding on the order, it was time for him to pay the bill. As soon as he touched his pocket to take out his wallet, his face went pale. He checked over and over again, but there was no sign of his wallet. He started looking for his wallet under his chair. To his dismay, he couldn't find anything except for the dust that was to be cleared. As he realized that he had dropped his wallet somewhere, he rushed back to the conference room where he was delivering his presentation. He looked for his wallet in every possible place he could, but again he came out barehanded. Since he was unable to find his wallet, he started asking people whether they'd seen it. Every time he asked anyone, he ended up growing more anxious, as it just wasn't about the wallet but his cards, cash, and ID cards in it. Mr. Vang stopped at a point and started recalling where he'd last seen it. He remembered that he took it out of the house and went straight to the office. He couldn't think of any incident where he'd taken it out. He recalled the only place he had taken it out was the fuel station. His car was running out of fuel and he had to take another route from where he could find the gas station. The only thing that was running inside his head was the presentation. He paid the merchant in cash and was unsure if he kept the wallet back or not. Though he knew he wouldn't be able to get that back, his heart was not able to accept it. After searching all over, he thought of giving a try in the same gas station. Things didn't turn out to be in his favor though. Someone had already picked his wallet up. That day was the very first time in Mr. Vang's life that he carried a huge amount of money in cash with him. He was asked by his wife to keep the money safe at home. He was the one who refused to do so as he thought that he could take good care of it. Mr. Vang's head echoed with the wise words that his wife said just before leaving the house. He cursed himself for not listening to her. Now that he hadn't listened to her, he couldn't tell her he'd lost the wallet. His esteem would be burned to ashes if he mentioned the lost wallet in front of his wife. Setting all his thoughts aside, he decided to become a little practical. The first thing he decided to do was block the cards so nobody could access them and his virtual money could be safe. He reached out to his bank. The virtual money was saved by his act, but what about the huge amount of cash he was keeping inside the wallet? Mr. Vang was not a spender. Instead, he firmly believed in the art of saving money. Then why did he keep that amount inside his wallet? What could be the possible reasons? The reason Mr. Vang took that huge amount of $1,500 in cash was that the coming weekend of that month was his daughter's birthday, and he had to pay $1,500 to the catering service in advance so he could finalize the day and venue. Now that he'd lost the wallet, the cash inside it was also lost. He lost all hope. He had to face his wife, so he devised a proper scenario to confront her. He couldn't think of anything other than his wife overreacting to the situation. The other side of the story was also going on. The lost wallet had been found by a teenager. Teenagers are known for their rebellious nature and are the first ones to get influenced by anything that happens in society. It It would be interesting to see what this kid did after finding the wallet. Tyler Opdyke was a college-going student who'd taken a day off classes to help bring up some more business to his uncle. Other than just helping, his motive was to earn a bit as well. He was a sports enthusiast and used to earn for his sports stuff like a football kit. Though he was merely a college student, Tyler had his expenses to look after. He stopped taking money from his house other than education fees. He used to do part-time jobs so he could fulfill his co-curricular expenses, which made him a responsible kid. While Tyler was busy working for his uncle, he went to the gas station first to refill his motorbike. Tyler's eyes caught hold of a leather substance lying on the surface. He initially tried not to pick it up, but seeing some money popping outside the wallet, he decided to take it. As Tyler picked up the wallet, he checked almost every compartment. He found $1,500 in cash, some credit cards, and ID cards. What was expected from Tyler depends from person to person. The decision Tyler made at that time shows his true nature. Tyler took the wallet along with him and, at a good speed, rode back to his workplace. He again opened the wallet and checked the amount of money. He thought of all he could buy if he owned that. The first thing that flashed inside his mind was the football kit. It took a long time for Tyler to decide what was to be done next. He thought of all the hard times he went through, but never in his mind struck the thought of taking the money for his own use. He was a high-moral child. Tyler waited for his break so he could return the wallet to the address mentioned on the card found inside. As his break time started, he pulled out his bicycle and headed towards the same address to return the wallet. Tyler had two options. The first was to take the money away and leave the wallet. Second, to pick up the wallet and money. He took the second option, but for a change, he did something that wasn't expected from a teenager like him. Like other boys his age, Tyler too was raised properly. He was taught the difference between right and wrong. He thought of the time the man who lost the wallet would have to take to accumulate that amount of money. Respecting his hard work, Tyler decided to give the wallet back. Within a few minutes, Tyler reached the mentioned address. All he knew was he was running out of time, so he would return the wallet and rush back to work. To his dismay, nothing of that sort happened, which made him a little impatient. On reaching the address, the first thing he did was press the doorbell. He expected a quicker response, but ended up waiting more than 15 minutes. He checked his watch and was growing impatient as he'd had to go back to work. He even went to the CCTV camera placed near the entrance to clarify his intentions, so that anyone sitting inside the house could open the door and respectfully take the wallet back. He waited and waited, but no response came. Tyler had no option left other than leaving the wallet there. He saw a doormat lying near the door. He went near it and kept the wallet on it, that as soon as people inside the house would open it, they were gonna get the wallet first. Tyler's duty of returning the wallet was successfully fulfilled. He brought the wallet all the way down to the correct address. He had nothing to do with the man or his family, so he also showed some courtesy and brought back the wallet. Still, he wasn't satisfied even after leaving it there. As he was leaving for his work, random thoughts were occupying his head. Thoughts included stealing the money. He then thought that his hard work would mean nothing if somebody took away the wallet from the place he put it in. He stopped there and took a long breath. He came back outside the house again, but this time he was determined that he'd return the wallet to the rightful owner in person. He started ringing the bell and would continue doing so until the door was opened. Disturbed by the doorbell, someone opened the door. Tyler saw a middle-aged woman coming out of the house. Unaware of the situation, she asked Tyler whom she wanted to meet. Tyler explained the whole story to her and showed her the wallet. She quickly recognized it and thanked Tyler for bringing it back. Mrs. Vang thought that Mr. Vang had no idea about his lost wallet, so she called him immediately to tell him. Panic-stricken Mr. Vang tried to be normal as much as he could. He didn't want his wife to know about it. He was shocked when his wife told him the wallet was safe and home. He thanked Tyler for being so good to them. The Vangs thought that saying thanks wouldn't be enough for the heroic act Tyler performed. They cordially invited Tyler to their daughter's birthday party. They wanted to stay connected with a kind human such as Tyler. The invitation wasn't enough to thank Tyler. The Vangs decided to do something bigger. They shared his story on the internet. Within a few hours, the post was liked and shared by many people. He was becoming really popular. Tyler was the talk of the town after the story went viral. Not only that, his life drastically changed when his college rewarded him a scholarship for his honesty. The decision he took completely changed his life. He's now known as Honest Tyler or True Tyler by many people around him.